Hello there. Come, pull up a chair. Today, we're diving into something every single Singaporean has probably thought about or even argued about. Should I buy a car or not? It's a debate as classic as Kaya Toast and Copy.
Okay, let's get right to it. With COE prices shooting through the roof, the big question on everyone's mind is it even worth it anymore? Seriously, let's try to figure this out together.
So just think of this as a friendly COPTM chat. No complicated charts, no confusing jargon, just a straight-up look at the numbers, the feelings, and, well, what the future might hold. Ready? Let's go!
First up, let's talk about the simple, everyday math. The kind of calculation you do in your head. What does it actually cost just to get from your home to your destination? We're going to compare owning a car to just using your phone to book a ride. Okay, check out these numbers for a pretty typical 24-kilometer trip during peak hour. If you use your own car, you're looking at about $33. But right away, you can see that both Grab and Tata are a little bit cheaper. Tata even saves you about $5. Hey, that's another cup of Kopi right there.
But then you see this number. Wow, look at that. Gecko looks like it completely blows everything else away. You're saving almost $20 on a single trip. On paper, it looks like a total no-brainer, right?
Whoa, not so fast. There's a catch, and it's a pretty big one. With GetGo, you have to return the car to the exact same spot you picked it up from, so it has to be a round trip. That's great if you're, say, going grocery shopping, but it's probably not going to work for your daily one-way commute to the office. It's a really key detail that changes the whole game.
And this brings us to an even bigger point. That per-trip cost, it really doesn't tell you the whole story. Not even close. To really get the real cost of owning a car, we have to talk about the expenses you don't really see every day, the ones I like to call the silent killers of your bank account.
And this right here, this is the psychological trap of car ownership. On a daily basis, all you feel are the small things: pumping petrol, paying for parking, the ERP beep. But what we all tend to forget are the really big hits. That massive, massive depreciation from your COE and ARF, the loan interest you're paying every month, your insurance, and of course, those dreaded maintenance and repair bills.
So when you actually add up all those silent killers, you get a number that looks something like this. Yep, according to SingSaver's analysis, the average annual cost of just owning a car is nearly $17,500. That is a huge chunk of change that you just don't feel on a day-to-day basis.
Now look at this breakdown. Depreciation, just the value your car loses, eats up half of your total cost, 50%. Can you believe it? All those daily costs we stress about, the petrol, parking, ERP, they only make up about 10% of the entire pie. That really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
Okay, so the numbers might seem pretty clear-cut, but we all know buying a car isn't just about spreadsheets and logic. It's an emotional decision. So let's talk about the real heart of the matter, this constant battle between the feeling of freedom and the desire for peace of mind.
I mean, this quote from a Reddit user just hits the nail on the head, right? It's all about control. It's about that feeling of freedom. You're never at the mercy of surge pricing. You don't have to deal with weird drivers. And the car is your own private, clean space. That feeling of empowerment, it's a really powerful thing. But then you've got the total flip side. For a lot of people, driving in Singapore is just plain stressful. You've got the traffic jams, the constant search for parking, the ERP gantries. For some, giving up the car actually gives them more peace, not less anxiety. And that peace of mind comes with all these other little perks. As the folks at Cooler Insights pointed out, going car-free can mean you actually slow down a bit. You build more walking into your day, and your commute becomes time for you, to read a book, listen to music, or just daydream. Plus, your kids can learn to get around on their own. These are those intangible benefits that never show up on a spreadsheet. So with all these numbers and feelings pulling you in different directions, how in the world do you actually decide what's right for you? Okay, let's get super practical for a second. Here's a simple little framework to help you find your own personal break-even point. It's really just a simple 3-step process. First, be brutally honest with yourself and calculate the total, all-in monthly cost of owning a car. I mean, everything. Second, figure out what you'd realistically spend without a car, public transport plus all your Grab rides. And finally, you find the difference, the gap. That number, whatever it is, that is the monthly price you are paying purely for the convenience of having a car. And that leads us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? There is no right or wrong answer here. Is that gap figure worth it to you? For your specific lifestyle? For your family? For your sanity?
That's the personal value judgment that every single one of us has to make for ourselves.
All right, before we finish our coffee, let's take one final sip and look at the bigger picture. Because this very personal decision, it doesn't happen in a bubble. It's actually part of a much larger story about where Singapore is heading in the future.
See, the government's Land Transport Master Plan for 2040 has a really clear vision. They're building towards what they call 20-minute towns and a 45-minute city. The goal is to make it so most journeys can be done super efficiently without ever needing a private car. The whole system is being redesigned to make car ownership less and less necessary.
And this chart just shows you how ambitious that goal really is. The target is for 9 out of every 10 journeys during peak hour to be made using public transport, shared rides, or things like cycling. Only 10% of trips are expected to be in private cars. I mean, the direction we're headed is pretty undeniable.
So as Singapore keeps transforming into this 45-minute city, the very reasons we own a car today might change completely. The choice you make isn't just about today's costs. It's about how you see yourself getting around in the Singapore of tomorrow. So the final question to leave you with is this: in that future, what does your journey look like?